Some prophets delivered a single message and vanished forever. In the Bible, not all prophets had a second chance. In the time of King Jeroboam, a man of God came from Judah, his name never given. He prophesied against a false altar and named a future king Josiah by name, 300 years before his birth. He came with a message of doom, a message that would shake the very foundations of the kingdom. The prophet from Judah was not just any ordinary man. He was a vessel of divine will, chosen to deliver a powerful and unsettling prophecy. In the ancient land of Israel, during a time when the people had turned away from their faith, the prophet emerged. The kingdom was rife with idolatry, and the people worshipped at altars that were not dedicated to the true God. It was in this context that the prophet from Judah appeared, sent by God to deliver a stern warning. The false altar he prophesied against was a symbol of the people's waywardness. It stood as a testament to their abandonment of the covenant they had with God. The prophet's words were not just a condemnation of the altar itself, but of the entire system of false worship that had taken root in the land. His prophecy was a call to return to the true faith, to abandon the idols and false gods that had led them astray. But the prophet's message was not just about the present, it was also about the future. He named a future king, Josiah by name, an astonishing prediction, given that Josiah would not be born for another 300 years. This prophecy was a clear indication of the divine inspiration behind the prophet's words. It was a sign that God had a plan for his people, a plan that would unfold in his own time. Josiah, when he eventually came to the throne, would indeed fulfill the prophecy. He would lead a great reformation, tearing down the false altars and restoring true worship in the land. The prophet's words, spoken so many years before, would come to pass in a dramatic and powerful way. The message of doom that the prophet brought was not just a warning of destruction, but also a call to repentance. It was a reminder that the people had strayed from their path and that they needed to return to their faith. The prophet's words were a beacon of hope, a promise that if the people turned back to God, they could avoid the calamities that were foretold. In the end, the story of the prophet from Judah is a testament to the power of faith and the importance of staying true to one's beliefs. It is a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is always a path back to the light. The prophet's message, though harsh, was ultimately one of redemption and hope. It was a call to return to the true faith and to trust in the divine plan that God had for his people. When Jeroboam ordered his arrest, his hand shriveled instantly. Only the prophet's prayer healed him. The king tried to silence him, but the divine intervention was undeniable. Jeroboam, the once mighty and unchallenged ruler, found himself in a moment of sheer vulnerability. His command, which usually instilled fear and immediate compliance, had backfired in the most unexpected and terrifying way. The prophet, a humble yet resolute figure, stood his ground, unwavering in the face of royal authority. The king's hand, once a symbol of his power and control, had become a grotesque reminder of his limitations and the higher power at play. The throne room, usually a place of grandeur and authority, was now filled with an eerie silence. Courtiers and guards who had witnessed the miraculous event stood in stunned disbelief. The air was thick with tension and the unspoken realization that something far greater than the king's decree was at work. The prophet's prayer, a simple yet profound act, had reversed the king's affliction, leaving Jeroboam both physically healed and spiritually shaken. As the king looked at his restored hand, a mix of fear and awe washed over him. He realized that his earthly power was insignificant in the face of divine will. The prophet, who had been the target of his wrath, was now seen in a different light. He was not just a man, but a messenger of a higher authority, one that even the king could not defy. The courtiers exchanged nervous glances, unsure of what would happen next. The king, who had always been the epitome of strength and decisiveness, now appeared vulnerable and uncertain. The prophet, on the other hand, remained calm and composed, his faith unwavering. This encounter had not only healed the king's hand, but it also left an indelible mark on his soul. Jeroboam's attempt to silence the prophet had failed spectacularly. Instead of quelling the divine message, it had amplified it, making it clear to all present that there were forces beyond human control. The king's reaction, a blend of fear, awe, and newfound respect, was a testament to the power of faith and the limits of earthly authority. This event would be remembered for generations, a powerful reminder of the divine presence that watches over and intervenes in the affairs of men. God told the prophet, "Don't eat or drink, don't return the same way," but another prophet lied to him. He ate, and on his way home, a lion killed him. The lion didn't eat the body, it just stood there, a sign from God. The man had been warned, but he chose to ignore the advice given to him. He was told not to eat from the forbidden tree, but temptation got the better of him. The fruit looked so appealing, so ripe and juicy, that he couldn't resist. He took a bite, savoring the sweetness, unaware of the dire consequences that awaited him. As he made his way home, he felt a sense of unease. The sky seemed darker, the air heavier. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. And then, out of nowhere, the lion appeared. It was majestic and terrifying, with a mane that seemed to glow in the dim light. The man froze, his heart pounding in his chest. The lion pounced, and in an instant it was over. The man lay lifeless on the ground, his eyes wide open in shock, but the lion did not devour him. Instead, it stood over the body, as if guarding it. The scene was eerie, almost surreal. The lion's presence was a message, a divine warning to others who might think of disobeying the sacred laws. Word of the incident spread quickly. People whispered about the man who defied the divine command and paid the ultimate price. They spoke of the lion, the silent sentinel, and the message it carried. Fear and reverence filled their hearts, and they vowed to never repeat the same mistake. The man's fate became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the power and wrath of the divine. And so, the story of the man and the lion was passed down through generations. It became a legend, a symbol of the consequences of disobedience. The lion, forever etched in their memories, stood as a guardian of the sacred laws, a reminder that some boundaries should never be crossed. He was never named again, but his story still warns us today. Have you ever heard of this prophet? Comment below with your thoughts, and subscribe for more rare Bible stories.